Today we're in the heart of greenery speaking to Mr. Menzi Vilakati, who is a farmer and the founder of Eswatini Agritech Solutions. He speaks about some of the challenges that he has faced as a farmer in the Kingdom of Eswatini and how you as a young person can one day become like him. Please stay with us as he chats with us. Today we are in the heart of 5 hectares. I'm talking about 5 soccer fields. Here we are to talk about the produce that some of you enjoy in our local stores right here in Eswatini. And joining us today is the founder of it all, founder of Eswatini Agritech Solutions, Mr. Menzi Vilakati. He joins us to talk about all of this produce that you see in front of us today and how he gets it to your home. Mr. Vilakati, welcome to Young Climber.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. We are happy.
All righty, and just to start off with, I always like to take it back with my guest, where are you from? As Menzi Vilakati, waqalapi and ufika njani tindzabeni tekulima, and most importantly, how did you found Eswatini Agritech Solutions?
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I studied agriculture, a tertiary education, so I've got an agriculture background. Secondly, I'm here because I fell in love with agriculture. I'm passionate about agriculture. I started farming 2017 after I tried other careers like teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Then I saw an opportunity because the country imports a lot of vegetables. Then I said, no, let me make use of my educational background.
Yeah.
Here at Eswatini Agritech Solutions is a new company that started 2023.
Yes.
With a partner who has helped us to get funding because of the funding challenges that we have as farmers in the country. So Eswatini Agritech Solutions is just a year old, but we are focusing mainly on using technology to produce vegetables, and we supply all the retail outlets and including Nambot.
Okay.
I think in a nutshell that is who we are as Eswatini Agritech Solutions.
And one, might want to know that with all of this, how do you then receive funding? Because you did speak about the challenges of receiving funding, but here you are today standing tall, in the heart of the country, which is of course Malcolm's, and you're producing the best we've ever seen into our local stores. Le funding,
it was not easy. Like I said, I started 2017. Then around 2019, I got hired by another person who was into agriculture. So I sought permission from him to advertise myself.
Okay.
So I advertised myself intensively on Facebook. Then in 2021, I received a call from Center for Financial Inclusion, which is FinClude, which is a government entity. They offered a grant for 2 tunnels, 2 greenhouses, and they were amounting to about 450,000 because they had seen me on social media advocating for climate smart agriculture. Then on that mist, I also received a call from my current funder, which is SIDC. They also presented that opportunity to say, we would love to come and work with you because we have seen how intensively you're advertising yourself. So then I took those 2 tunnels and I used them as security, which is the most difficult thing for most of our farmers. Then while we were still in those negotiations, the 2 tunnels were not enough for the money that I was requesting. So I had to go around and seek for someone who might have that security. That is how I met with my business partner. So this is another strategy that someone can use. Go look for someone who has the financial capacity to help you get funding. Then you become the technical person. So in short, that is how I ended up getting funding, and it was a huge funding.
And
Yes.
speaking of, going out and looking for things, you did mention to me that you went as far as Egypt, to gain some knowledge in regards to agriculture and, of course, irrigation. Can you please speak about how you have incorporated some of the things that you have learned there in Egypt? I had the argument with you, could say, Egypt, neklima, but you did say, they are one of the best in the world. How are you incorporating some of that right here in Eswatini?
What I learned there is that land and water,
Yeah.
they are very scarce in Egypt. So they have adapted and developed technologies which include the drip irrigation,
Okay.
which helps them to save a lot of water. They've got techniques of recycling their nutrients, meaning that if they apply a fertilizer, they've got a way to reclaim it and put it back into the soil.
Yeah.
It was quite a beautiful journey there, because that is where I've learned most of the farming techniques. And I'm grateful because I was taken to Egypt by correctional services, because that is where I'm currently hired under the agriculture section. So I'm grateful for that, because it really opened my eyes that as a country we've got enough fertile land to feed ourselves. We've got enough water. It's just a question of us putting it into practice and making it work.
And now looking at this vast land, I see different types of greenery, but it's very green, it's very beautiful. And kuya lengesheya solo agri-tech solutions. Can you talk about the types of produce that you are producing here on this specific land?
Okay, we are mainly focusing on cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, green beans, peas. But what we are growing here is informed by the markets. We don't just grow for the sake of growing.
Yeah.
We go around, we get information as to how much they want of each per week. Then we come and draft our planting program. We also have tomatoes, cucumbers, which are under the tunnels, and we've got green peppers under the net. So we are literally following the market trend. We don't just grow for the sake of growing.
And now speaking into climate change, because with something such as agriculture, you can plant, but then the weather decides at the end of the day. Can we talk about some of the challenges that you've had, with climate change, and how you've addressed certain solutions to make sure that your crops continue to grow? Because hey, spinach has linywa in winter, but here you are, you're doing it all. How has climate change affected you, and how have you created solutions for such?
That's a very painful one, because here at Agri-Tech Solutions we've got 3 strategies. We've got the tunnels, which are helping us to fight off hailstorm, your frost. Then we've got the nets, which are also helping us to fight off the heat waves, because climate change is not only the hailstorms. Also the tunnel, they help in terms of heavy rainfalls. But last year, October, everything that you see behind me was destroyed by hail. Last year, October, and I think we made a loss of about 500,000, I think. So we couldn't find a way back up until our funder came to our rescue, because like I'm saying, everything was destroyed. Only a produce that was left in the tunnels that was protected. So climate change is literally the biggest threat in terms of food security, because ordinary, let me say, small upcoming farmers, the moment they are subjected to those challenges, they quit. And that is what is literally creating the gap in terms of food production in the country.
But now you've spoken about the tunnels and of course the drip irrigation system. I'm so eager to find out, and kutshengisa ababukela emakhaya ukuthi le irrigation system lo khuluma ngayo yinto lenjani. So I'd like us to head on over, as we continue conversing, of course, to see how innovation has also helped you, in agriculture.
Yes.
We've moved into like a completely different setup, but you're still producing different vegetables in this setup. Can you please speak about the climate smart agriculture and how crucial is it to you as a farmer?
Okay, thank you so much. I think climate smart agriculture is the future of food security.
Yeah.
Is the future of reducing poverty and instability in our country.
Yes.
Because the climate has changed, which means we are facing more droughts. So if there are more droughts, it means there is less availability of water. So you honestly need to use your drip irrigation, as you can see, because it helps us to save a lot of water.
Yes.
Secondly, climate smart involves the issue of heavy and strong heat waves. So the heat waves, they normally destroy the plants. That is why we are using a net, which is it reduces the sun intensity by 20%.
Okay.
So that is another way of being climate smart. The other thing, you find that with climate change, we are facing pests and diseases that are attacking our crops, and we are struggling to treat them. So with the nets, insects are trapped. They are not having easy access into the crops. Then the other climate smart technology obviously is the issue of tunnels, which I'm sure we're going to see, but they are also helping in terms of frost, in terms of prolonged rainfall, because vegetables, they don't like prolonged rainfall. You find that they end up getting damaged. But here under the net, it's more on drip irrigation and water saving technologies than on the issue of drought and trying to reduce the sun intensity.
Yeah, and as like a large-scale farmer, which you are, I believe, how do you hope to improve the food security of the Kingdom of Eswatini? Well, where do you hope to land at? Because 5 hectares can turn into 50,000 hectares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The country imports a lot of food.
Yes.
Including your maize, your beans, the basic vegetable stuff. So our aim is to try and reduce that massively, because we want to get a bigger farm, because we have seen that most people are not into farming. As you know, farming is carrying that stigma of being something that is done by those that are not educated. It's done by people that like to be dirty, I should say. So those things makes us as a country to struggle to produce our own food, and we depend a lot on South Africa and other neighboring countries. Which I believe farmers can change the landscape. And Eswatini Agri-Tech Solution is going to lead that, because we seriously need to change the landscape and the mindset of the youth in terms of agriculture. And of course, agriculture creates job opportunities, which we are struggling with. So Eswatini Agri-Tech Solutions is looking to take the lead in that regard.
And speaking about taking the lead, I think we're moving over to one of the best parts, or one of the most innovative parts about your farm, which is where there's the drip irrigation system, there's the tunnel system, but we'll get to see all of that when we head on over that side.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Talking about the idea of technology in farming, Mr. Vilakati, now I want to ask, what is tunnel farming and how does it benefit your vegetable production?
Tunnel farming is basically using a structure like the one that we're in, where it's covered by plastic and a net on top, so that you prevent the climate change impacts, which include your hailstorm, which include your frost, which include your prolonged rainfall, your heat wave. So everything it's protected under a tunnel. They come in different sizes. There's the one that we are having here. It's a 30 by 10, which is a 300 square meters. Then it takes up 900 plants each tunnel. So basically what it does, you are planting in a sawdust which doesn't have nutrients.
Okay.
So you feed nutrients daily here, but it's just a climate smart practice that allows us to stop the climate change impacts, and also to reduce the number of pests and diseases inside, because there are less pests and diseases inside.
Yeah. And now, can you talk about the process of installing the drip irrigation system and how you actually maintain it?
Basically, what we are doing here, because we can't use a sprinkler, we use, as you can see, we use a drip irrigation system. In our case, it gives us 1 liter of water per plant per hour.
Okay.
But we do irrigate at an interval of 15 minutes. So a day we use 1 liter per plant. So per tunnel we use 1,000 liters of water per day, which is equivalent to water that is used by a sprinkler in 1 hour to irrigate maybe, say, 20 plants at most. So here it's also a water saving technology.
And let's talk about making farming fashionable again, especially for the youth. You did say, you know, agriculture is sometimes seen as is stigmatized. How do you, you know, as a farmer, plan to make farming fashionable again, especially for our youth, lababugele makaya, and how can you assure them that they can pick farming or agriculture as a career?
The first thing is to make sure that Eswatini Agri-Tech Solution is a success, because we do use our social media platforms to try and encourage the youth to take up agriculture in these difficult financial times. So it is one thing that a person even in a backyard, for example, let me make an example of, you can decide to grow lettuce, which is going to take 30 days to grow. If today you can plant, say, 2,000 lettuce, it might cost you $1,000 to do that on your backyard. Then let me say from that you just harvest, say, 1,500 of those units. Then you sell it for a malangani each. You are 6,000 richer.
From 1,000.
From 1,000.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we can try. They are not as easy as we present them. The challenges are there, difficulties are there, but they are one tool that we can use to facilitate the youth into being self-employed and being self-sustainable. Yeah,
and I'm glad you mentioned social media for you as a tool, which is one of the things that is mostly fashionable, you know, amongst our youth. Social media. How do you as a business use social media to keep the place marketable?
We make sure that we share content, because everyone is in social media.
Yes.
Your funders are in social media. Your governments are in social media. Your markets themselves, they are in social media. So as long as you still shy of yourself of what you do, you might not get noticed. But if you use it effectively, someone somewhere will notice, just like we have noticed Eswatini Agri-Tech Solutions. To be honest with you, I never thought at some point I'll be seated in front of Eswatini TV talking about agriculture.
Yeah.
But I'm sure even Eswatini TV has seen us in social media.
Yes.
And now we might make a mileage in terms of our markets because of that. So social media has a very, very important role to play for the youth to grow. So let's use it the best way we can to develop ourselves. Yes.
And speaking of the idea of export, I know you did say briefly that there's a type of certificate that you need to have to actually give people certain products. How are you hoping to be the best exporter, not only in Eswatini? Maybe you could be, you know, taking the vegetables across the borders as well. How are you hoping to achieve that goal?
First of all, it is to get that certification, which is the Global Gap certification. It is an expensive certification, but it's about standards.
Yes.
Food standards, health standards, because you can't sell quality without a standard.
Yeah.
So as Swatini Agri-Tech Solution, that is our first step, because we do produce quality, but there are things that we need to meet in terms of that standard. So once we have that certification, then we can have our product going abroad, because we do have market contacts. We do have people that are looking for our products, but now we need to work as hard as we can to get that certification.
And then as Eswatini, in terms of funding, you know, we did speak briefly about how you got to where you are, but what are some of the things that young Emaswatis can do? You know, Nalo 1000, Glomunye angaba, you know, a bit of a challenge to acquire. What are some of the things they can do to be able to get that funding?
There are opportunities. Of course, they come with requirements. There is the youth wing in the ministry. There is your FinClude, which are acting as they provide loan guarantee schemes with your central bank. I've heard NAMPOD is also having another kind of a scheme to help farmers to. So we need to take those opportunities up, because yesterday they were not there.
Yes.
But now these organizations are trying to bring that up. Then the other thing, like I stated, in our case, you can look for people that are having business people.
Yes.
Some you might find that they are in tracking, for example, but they do need another form of investment. Approach people. Let's stand up as a youth. But unfortunately, we are always complaining, or we are always blaming the next person for where we are.
Yes.
But I'm saying, let's stand up. Let's chase opportunities. Opportunities, they don't come to you. You go to opportunities. You are the one who is supposed to chase opportunities. And the other thing, while on the issue of funding, like I said, let's build groups, clusters. There's what we call cluster farming, for example, where you become a group. A group has a better voice.
Oh, yes.
A group has a better voice. So if you come as a group and you go to the organizations like your FinClude, your Swazi Bank, your NAMPOD, they might listen to you.
Yeah.
They might listen to you. So as youth, let's stand up and try to. And lastly, we tend to look for motivation. Yet motivation, I always say, it ends. You've got to have that desire, that dedication to achieve something. But if you're waiting for Mr. Vilakati to come and motivate you, in 2 days that motivation might not be there.
Yeah.
Or when you go to these organizations that I'm stating and you don't get assistance, you might stop rather than trying to go to the next one where you might get assistance. So let's get up and chase the opportunities. They are there.
And for you, you know, getting up and chasing an opportunity is exactly what you did. With the retailers, especially, which door do you then knock on to say, when you started farming, did you know that I would be supplying 6,000 tomatoes or 5,000 cabbages to these specific stores? How did you manage to walk yourself through those stores?
Social media.
Yeah.
Social media, because I'll be honest with you, when I started, I was supplying NAMPOD. Then from there, I started advertising myself. Then I remember I planted cabbage around December when everyone didn't have cabbage.
Okay.
Then I posted on my social media.
Oh, for January.
For January.
Yeah.
When it is called meat.
Yeah.
Then I received a call from Pick and Pay. Then they said, no, we need cabbage. Then I said, no, I can supply cabbage. Then they were like, do you have an account with us? I said, no, I don't have. Then they said, oh, no, unfortunately, we can't help. You need to have an account. But I had gone there before, I think, around May.
Oh, okay.
Then this time, they came with the documents to say, we can open an account for you.
They came to you.
Yeah, because I had something that other people didn't have. So that is the other way in which I was able to get to. Then all the other shops, your ShopRite, your OK Foods, I got them through social media. Let's use social media effectively. Markets are going to come. Then, of course, you've got to be a reference in terms of the quality and the consistency. Like I said, they're just chasing for two things.
Yes.
But if you're a farmer, you produce cabbage today, you harvest, then you come back after 4 months. Someone is going to take that space.
Yes, in that 4 months.
That 4 months absence. So you need to also be considerate that if you're not there for 4 months, where is the market getting the produce from?
Okay.
Like in our case, we were attacked by hail last October. Believe me, to penetrate back into the market now was a challenge. But now we are back because they know that what we are going to come up with. Then the other challenge with the markets, I think it's the issue of pricing.
Yes.
That one is a thorn in the
negotiation.
Yeah. Because we, as farmers, you know, you are always told how much your product is.
Should be, yeah.
But if you go to retail shops where you're buying your clothes,
no one negotiates.
No one negotiates.
Yeah.
Yes.
So bafune cucumber ya 4 rand, la dating sanga 15 rand.
Yeah, that's life. That's life of farmers. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, as we close off, what are some of the long-term goals for Eswatini Agritech, and what is the impact that you wish to make in Eswatini and of course the world?
Our long-term, obviously, it is to grow as a business, but we also wish to see the farming landscape in the country changing, because we know what agriculture can do in terms of job creation, in terms of entrepreneurial opportunities, which might take up most of the youth that is not employed. They might be their self-employers. So for us, we want to impact more people into agriculture rather than seeing ourselves as a business grow. Because if the agriculture landscape is growing, believe me, Agritech is also growing, because we might get more information and more ideas from other farmers. But at the moment, we are struggling with knowledge sharing, because we are taken as the forerunners of this tunnel farming, yet it's having its own challenges. So if more people are into it, then we are going to get a knowledge bank. Then Agritech will also be growing.
All righty. Thank you so much, Mr. Vilakati, for joining us here on Young Climber. We do hope to see Agritech grow into the world, and of course the idea of agribusiness, you know, being absorbed in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course more suppliers from the Kingdom of Eswatini, especially in our retail stores. Thank you so much once again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, if you want to grow, you know, 2,000 lettuce, just start off right now at your own backyard, and who knows, next you could be the biggest farmer in the Kingdom of Eswatini. But apart from that, we will be back next week Tuesday at 6:30. For now, it is good night and God bless.